Hey guys, welcome back with the continuation of organic chemistry. It was section B for organic chemistry, in which we have started the topic of polymers. Here, I have told you about additional polymers, and we have discussed this thing very clearly that additional polymers are those polymers in which the units are going to combine with each other, and the double bond is going to shift itself into single covalent bond. So here is one example in which there are total 4 carbon in this monomer. We can say this thing that these 2 carbons are attached with each other through a double covalent bond. And after this combination, they are going to shift themselves into carbon-carbon single bond. And this is called the repeating unit for this. Okay. I am going to give you another example so that the concepts related to this can be much improved. Okay. Guys, look at here right now. For example, this is a compound in which there is a carbon-carbon double bond, and then there is C, and then there is another C, and then there is an OH as well, and then there is a C double bond O, and this is, for example, we are saying that it is another carbon here, and this is CH3, for example. Okay, and we are saying that this is CH3 here, and H here, and H here, and H here as well. Okay, now a, B, C, D type of any compound can be there, but now examiner is asking by giving you such type of any compound. He is just asking that is this compound capable to show additional polymerization? Yes, this compound is capable to show additional polymerization. And what is the reason behind that? Due to presence of this carbon-carbon double bond, this compound can show additional polymerization. Now this is a monomer, so it will be taken for n times, and it is now going to polymerize. So it is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 1, carbon number 2, and that's it. Okay, now these are the continuation brackets on both sides. Sometimes examiner is saying that your polymer should have 2 repeating units, your polymer should have 3 repeating units. Here there are 3 repeating units, carbon number 1 2, so carbon number 1 2 and carbon number 1 2, so there are 3 repeating units which are repeating themselves to give you this polymer. Okay, now if we are talking regarding this polymer currently, we can say this thing that this carbon has 1H and the remaining part is this carbon has 1H, whereas the remaining part is this. So we have to write the whole thing like it is. Okay, so we can see this thing that this carbon has 1H and this carbon has another H. Okay, this carbon has one C, which has a double bond O, and this C is further attached with CH3, whereas the other carbon has one CH, which is attached with the OH and CH3. Okay, so the same carbon is attached with this. Okay, now again, this is this and this is this now, and now we are just writing in such a way that things can become easier for us. So it is HC or CH is same thing, and I have just consumed the space like this, and this is 1H, whereas this has C double bond O and CH3. You can see this thing that remaining parts are as it is. I forgot to write this H. Now I'm writing this, and this carbon has one H again, and you can see this thing that the remaining is CH, and this is CH3, and this is OH. So this is just telling you that all of the combinations will be used as it is, just to shift the carbon-carbon double bond into carbon-carbon single bond, and remaining part will be remain same. So you can write this thing. This is a polymer, and now we are going to write the monomer. This is one carbon atom, the second carbon atom, and that's it. The first has this H, and this is C double bond O, and this is CH3, and this is having one H, whereas this has one CH and CH3, and it has OH as well. Okay, so this is called what? This is called a monomer, the repeating unit now. Okay, so this is the monomer, this is the polymer, and this is the repeating unit. So from these all examples, it should be clear that in case of a polymer and a monomer and a repeating unit, it can be asked to write down the polymer and repeating unit from the monomer, to write down the polymer and monomer from the repeating unit, to write down the polymer from the monomer, or to write down the monomer from the polymer. Any question can be asked related to additional polymerization. Now we are moving towards the next page, and that is telling us about the information, and that is the second category, which is called as condensational polymers. Okay, condensational polymerization. Okay, in this case, basically, we are going to take the two compounds, the two monomers, the two similar or different monomers. The two similar or different monomers can be there, but they are going to combine with each other in such a way that they are going to make a smaller byproduct as well. Byproduct is that product in which we are not very much interested, but this is an additional product, you may say. Okay, so just look at here right now. For example, there is one condensational polymer of your syllabus is nylon. Okay. What is nylon? Nylon is also called as polyamide. Nylon is also called as polyamide. Why it is called as polyamide? We are going to discuss that. Okay. Now look at here right now. In case of nylon, basically there are two types of the monomers. What are those two types of the monomers? I'm writing here two types of monomers very clearly so that every one of you can keep this idea in your mind. Okay, so what are those two monomers? One of them is dicarboxylic acid, whereas the other is diamine. Okay, now the point is this: what is dicarboxylic acid? A dicarboxylic acid is a carbon chain having carboxylic group on both ends. Okay, and what is a diamine? A diamine is a carbon chain having amino group. Amino group is NH2. Amino group on both ends. Okay, let's see. We are now going to write it down how they are look like. Okay, so for example, this is CH2, a two carbon atom chain, and then this is C double bond OOH. Okay, total three now, and there is another C double bond OOH, and this is a four carbon atom chain carboxylic acid. And what will be the name for this? It will be called as but 1, 4 dash dioic acid. Why it is called but 4 carbon atom chain? Why it is 1, 4 at position number 1, at carbon number 1, and at carbon number 4, at carbon number 1, and at carbon number 4 there is a carboxylic group. Okay, let's recall that concept I have told you while teaching you carboxylic acid, that it is really very important to keep the carbon of the carboxylic group as a part of the counting. Okay, so that's why this is a four carbon atom chain. Right now we can see this thing that this is for n times, and this is for n times as well. So this is NH2, and this is now CH2, this is CH2, and this is NH2 here as well. Okay, so this is OH which is coming from here, and this is H coming from here. Okay, and this H is going somewhere else, whereas this OH is going somewhere else. What is the meaning of somewhere else? Okay, the container in which this reaction is going to happen, in which this reaction is occurring, we should know this thing that there are thousands and thousands of dicarboxylic acids there are thousands of diamines are there as well. So there are one diamine is combining with the dicarboxylic acid on one side and the other dicarboxylic acid on the other side. So they are keeping on holding hands of each other, one to the next, next to the next, next to the next, and in this way there is a continuous combination. Okay, so what will be on the this side? There will be a diamine. What will be on this side? There will be a dicarboxylic. So the next is diamine, next is dicarboxylic, and so on, so on. Okay, so right now I am going to write the basic thing, and that is called as the continuation bracket. First of all, so it is C double bond O, this is CH2, this is CH2, and this is C double bond O, and now this is the new N, and then this is the H, then this is CH2, then this is CH2, then this is N, and then this is H. H is up or down, will not make any difference. Then this is C double bond O again, this is CH2, this is CH2, this is C double bond O, this is again and this is H, this is now. Okay, for example. Okay, Now we can see this thing that due to lack of space, I cannot write like this. But for example, this is CH2. You should try to write it in the one go because it will create a problem for you. Okay, I will write down the smaller structure on the next page so that you people may have a better idea. Now I'm telling you that this is a new bond. This is a new bond. This is a new bond. Okay, this is a new bond where it is formed basically. So you can see this thing that this carbon is now going to attach with this nitrogen. Okay, this. Okay, so in this way they are going to make a bond, and this linkage, this new bond is called as amide linkage. That's why a nylon is called as polyamide, because many time amide are being processed, being formed. So this is called as amide linkage. Okay, now along with this nylon, what else we are getting, that is called as NH2O. So it means that water molecules are formed as well. Now what is the repeating unit for this? It will be C double bond O, CH2, CH2, C double bond O, and then NH, and then as a next CH2, CH2, and then NH, and that's it. So this is the repeating unit. Guys, look at here right now. Here the H was at the bottom, whereas here the H is at the top. Will not make any difference. I have already informed it to you. So this new linkage is called as amide linkage. Okay, that's why the nylon is called as polyamide. So when amide is being formed, amide are formed whenever carboxylic group is going to attach with an diamine. With carboxylic and amine is called as amide. So I'm writing it here now, so that you people may have an idea what is amide. Amide is equal to carboxylic, carboxylic plus amine is called as amide. Okay, so whensoever C double bond O is attached with NH, it is called as amide. Is that done now? Okay, so I'm going to give you another example. It is C double bond O and then CH2. Just take a lesser number of carbon atoms so that we may have to give lesser space, and as a result of that, we can write more repeating units, like 3 repeating units in the formula for the polymer. Okay, so this is the carboxylic acid. It is made up of 3 carbon atoms only, and we gotta take this one carbon atom diamine. So it is 1 carbon atom, so that things can become sum up and can become easier to write it down for many times. Okay, let's see. This is a 1 carbon atom diamine and 3 carbon atom dicarboxyl. Now examiner is asking you to write down a polymer from these two in which should be 3 repeating units. Okay, it means that the whole thing should come for 3 times. Now we know this thing that OH will go from here, whereas OH will come from here, whereas H will go to the next, and OH will go to the next. Okay, now I am writing here, it is the continuation bracket. It is C double bond O, it is CH2, it is C double bond O, it is NH, it is C, it is NHO, it is CH2 should be here because the number of hydrogens are not completed, so that's why. Okay, then what else is there next? C H2 should be here as well, and then what is the next? It is C double bond O, it is CH2, it is C double bond O, it is NH, it is CH2, it is NH, it is C double bond O, it is CH2, it is C double bond O. That's it. Okay, I believe one time, second time, third time. No, the third time is still left. Okay, so it is N and it is C and it is N, and this is the bracket and this is it. Okay, so this is H and this is H and this is H2. Okay, so now you can see this thing that where are the amide linkages. So these are here. This is so this is just here. Okay, so this is just here, and this is just here, and this is just here. Okay, so you can see this thing that in this case that where are the 3 repeating units, how the 3 repeating units are there. I'm telling you, this is 1 repeating unit here. Okay, CH2, and this is 1 time, this is for 1 time. Okay, this is for 1 time. Okay, and this is for the second time. All right, let me draw it for the second time. This is the second time. Okay, and this is the third time. Okay, so you can see this thing that in all these three, dicarboxylic and diamine both are there. So that's why we can say this thing that three repeating units have been written to make this polymer. So there is no N with this polymer, and now I'm telling you what will be the repeating unit. Okay, so in this repeating unit, obviously we have to write it for one time only. So we can write a little bit more spacious because space is available. So we are writing like open form of this. Things can become more clearer. Okay, spacious way to write this. Okay, so this is the repeating unit. So the monomer and the polymer and the repeating unit. This is the way to make the diamine and dicarboxylic acid combination nylon, which is called a polyamide, and this is how it is going to be made. Okay, guys, don't forget to write NH2 as well because it is a small thing. After writing such a big structure, students normally forget this, but please, I'm just giving you a reminder again and again. It's really important to keep this and really important to write this properly. Okay, let me write one more compound for you, and that is also a dicarboxylic and diamine. Okay, guys, this is a box, and this is CH, the C double bond O, and this is OH, and this is another a circle, and this is a carbon chain as well, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this, for example. Okay, so these circle and this box, this square or a rectangular box type of thingy are just telling you about the carbon chains. So these are for n times, and remember this thing, this is this, and this is now going to have this, and this is now this, and this is like this. And we can see this thing that in all cases, basically, we are just writing the same thing again and again, and nothing else is happening. It is just the carbon chain which is represented with the different type of structures, and that's it. Okay, so please, this is again this C double bond O, and remember this thing. Okay, so we have just removed what we have removed this from this, and we have removed this from this, we have removed this from this. Okay, instead of making this, we can say it is attached with this, and this has been removed as well. So these are for n times. We can see this thing that this is one of the new linkage, whereas this is the other new linkage, this is a new linkage, this is a new linkage, and this is how it is happening. Okay, every time C double bond O of one side is attaching with NH of the other side, NH of one side is attaching with the C double bond of the other side. So this new bond, this new linkage is called amide linkage. So here we are writing the repeating unit. It will be C double bond O, the carbon chain, which is in the form of a box, and this is another C double bond O on the other side of the carbon chain, and then this H thing here, and this circle. Which is this circle? This circle is just a representative of a carbon chain. Sometimes examiner can ask a question by drawing like this as well. So please don't forget this thing that you need to write down the carbon chains as it is. So it is a basic idea, it is a basic concept which we have to do related to this. I hope so that concept of polyamide called nylon is much clearer now. I will do the past papers for you people as well, inshallah, which will clarify the concepts as well. I would like to share the syllabus copy for IGCSEs and GCEs, both regarding organic chemistry after completing this whole thing, so that all of us may be on the same page that teacher has taught us this, and what is the meaning of this, and where is this, and what's this, etc., etc. Because this chapter was quite a longer chapter. That's why I'm thinking that students should have this clear ideas. All the best to all of you. See you in the next class. Thank you very much. See you in the next class, inshallah. Take care.